Hello, and welcome to what will be our last broadcast of 2020. That's right, you heard it from the horse's mouth, me being the horse or the Kelpie. This is going to be our last broadcast. Ying and I are taking a 2-week holiday. We will be back in 2021, of course. Let me just give you the dates. On a Friday night, which will be in America, Saturday morning, 12:30, Saturday morning, we'll be back on the 9th. Our next Sunday broadcast will be the 10th. So planning on doing 2 broadcasts, one at the start of the weekend, one at the end of the weekend. Pretty much other than that, just we've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes, and hopefully you see an improved picture quality. We're now broadcasting in HD. We're also widening where we're broadcasting to. We haven't been pushing this one since it's the year-end one quite as much on Facebook to try and just get the regulars to come back and see if we can concentrate on them. Big bit of news. We tried an experiment on the Friday broadcast, which worked extremely well. As you'll know, there is a time delay between me broadcasting and getting feedback from you. On a good night, it's 10 seconds. On a bad night, Ying has calculated it can be as much as 45 seconds. So if you look at me on front, you'll see two bits of information. The first bit, the top bit, is a website. The bit under that is the instructions. So basically, we now have the ability, we've had it for a while actually, we just haven't used it. If you want a reading, you'll get priority if you put that in your browser, follow the links, follow the instructions, and you can appear live on Facebook and YouTube. I will see you and we'll be able to communicate in real time. Basically, it's like Zoom. So I'll see you, I'll put you up, and I'll be able to speak to you. And I won't be having to work with a 10 or 20-second delay. We did it for 4 people on Friday night, Saturday morning. Friday night, because most of them came from the States. And the readings were much better, didn't have the time delay, wasn't having to sit there and twiddle my thumbs as I sometimes do week in, week out, waiting to get the response back from you. So Ying is still in control. If you want a message this way, let Ying know by message that you're going to go into it. Wait for her to choose you to get the message. We're not changing the way we work in terms of Ying choosing who gets the message, but you'll just have to sit and twiddle your thumbs until we get to you, and then you'll appear on screen and you will get a real-time reading. You'll also be able to see what's going on with the messages appearing in real time. You won't be sitting 10, 20 seconds behind. So there's advantages even if you don't want to get the video message. If you're new, if you're not a regular, then basically, let me just go through the usual. Ying is my wife. She chairs everything. She puts your name in a hat and she draws it out. So let me just show you how that works. And give me 2 seconds. So that was the wrong one. Here we Your names go in what we call the spiritual box, and Ying pulls them out of the box, and that determines who gets a message and what order. I don't think we're going to have huge numbers tonight because, like I say, I haven't been advertising it on Facebook as often as I do. It's the year end and just trying to concentrate on the regulars. But basically, if we get larger numbers during the night, that's how the names get chosen. Ying concentrates on the management and the messages, leaving me free to concentrate on the messages. You'll also note we've upgraded our graphics a little bit. So let me just click a few more buttons. And as you can see up at the top, we've got the logo, so I don't need to advertise the logo quite as heavily. And also, I can tell you what I'm doing. So that's the news and the information almost over. Basically, if you're not a regular, we follow a very simple format. I'm a church-trained medium. This is not a church broadcast, quite clearly, but I'm trying to do it under church conditions as far as possible. There will be an opening prayer, there will be a short spiritual address, and then I'll move into the clairvoyance. The opening address helps me to get a deeper connection, and the prayer helps me to open up. So I'd like everybody please to join me. And as you can see, I've got the sign to say we're doing a prayer. Aren't you excited to see all these new changes that are coming in the new year and the end of this year? Okay, so if everybody could please join me for a prayer. Dear Father, Mother Spirit, thank you very much for bringing us together. Thank you for opening the other side. Please bring forward our loved ones. Please bring forward people that want to receive messages. Please help us to connect the message to the correct person. Please, it's the end of the year. It's been, I'm not going to say a bad year, but it's been a tumultuous year. Please let next year be better. And please, for the people that have passed, help them to find comfort. For the people that have lost people during this year, please help them to cope with the loss and to understand that their loved ones are in a better place. And please let next year be a better year than this for us all, for everyone, for the entire world. Amen. Okay, so spiritual address. Well, you can see from the decorations behind me, it's Christmas. Well, not quite, but it will be next week. What does Christmas mean? Well, Christmas, it's obviously the Christian celebration of the birth of Christ. Anyone with 2 brain cells, however, and I like to think I've got at least 3, knows that Christmas Day was not the day that Christ was born. It was a pagan ceremony that was adopted by the Christian church to hold that celebration on. What was the day that Jesus was born on? Who knows? Have we even got the year right that he was born in? Again, who knows? Remember that most of the Bible, when you read the various stories of Jesus, are second person, probably 2 generations for the vast majority of it. So it's Chinese whispers. Somebody told somebody and somebody wrote it down. I'm not belittling any of the stories or any of the miracles. I am a spiritualist Christian. I believe in Jesus. I believe in God. I'm merely pointing out the fairly obvious that a lot of what we do in Christmas has nothing to do with the religious aspect. Christmas decorations, Christmas trees, that all dates back to Dickens and the Victorians. Does it belittle what we do? No, because at some point somebody had to start the Christmas celebration on a particular day. Does it matter that that is the day that Jesus was born on? No, because we're not celebrating the birth of Jesus. We're celebrating the fact that there was Jesus. We're celebrating the message of Jesus. Obviously, we're celebrating his birth as a baby. And yes, we believe in the miracles of the star, the angels. I think even that, to be honest, is probably a story that's Chinese whispers again. But it's the message, the Christian message for me, of peace that's at Christmas. It's a start. There's a song that's sung by someone who's not even a Christian, who is Jewish, called, I'm sorry, I've got a mental block, When a Child is Born. Now that song doesn't say it's a Christmas song, and it doesn't say it's Jesus, and it doesn't talk about the child that was born. It talks about a child that will be born. But it's the message of that song, it's the message of Christmas, it's the message of Jesus that's so important. And I think we can all take hope and comfort out of that at this time of year. Thank you. Okay, so moving into clairvoyance, waiting for the first message. If anybody would like to get a real-time message, now's the time to click on that link. Coming to Kathleen Hanlon. Kathleen, I've got a man coming forward. In his, I do hate it when they make it difficult for me to get the age, but late 50s, early 60s. If he's much older than that, he looks a lot younger. He feels a lot younger as well. get the feeling he smoked, but it wasn't cigarettes. It was either cigars or a pipe. Or what's that thing they call a shisha? I can smell it. I mean, it's definitely a sort of tobacco or tobacco-ish smell, but it's not cigarette smell. His hair is... Actually, it's not his hair. He's using one word to describe himself. Immaculate. It's almost as though he was immaculate in everything that he did. Dress, shoes, grooming. So Kathleen, you know the way this works. Can you recognize this man? And also, I get the feeling there's something about his hands. Possibly arthritis in his hands, obviously towards the end, when he got older. Maybe not arthritis, but there's definitely something. I've got a tingling in both hands. There's definitely something going on with his hands when he was alive. So Kathleen, can you recognize who this is? So Kathleen, can you recognize this man? Late 50s, early 60s, something to do with his hands. The word immaculate is using to describe himself. And that may be his personality. I get the feeling it's more than just dress sense. I get the feeling he's just, everything had to be perfect, character-wise. Okay. Well, like I say, it didn't feel like cigarette, but mind you, if we're going back far enough, you know, I suppose it could be an old style tobacco. Certainly the suit would tie him with the immaculate. Yeah, I'm getting a yes from that, Kathleen. Did he wear black shoes when he was when he wore the suit? Did he always have military style polished shoes? Right. Okay. Well, that would make sense because it didn't smell like a off the shelf packet of cigarettes. So were his shoes always well polished? Yeah. So it's definitely him. Okay. So let's see why he's coming forward. Kathleen, don't answer this question but this is the message. Who have you forgotten to get the Christmas present for? Your grandfather wants you to remember you have forgotten. If it's not forgotten, you've put it off to the last minute. Maybe it's not a present, but something about Christmas. And it's not, it's not like organizing or you've forgotten to get something, or you've forgotten somebody's present, or you've forgotten to tell somebody. He wants you to, obviously, he's trying to remind you. I don't think it's a man. I think it's a woman that you've forgotten to get the Christmas present for. Or you've forgotten to, if it's not a present, it's definitely Christmas. Something that you've forgotten to do for this woman, or get for this woman, or a present. Or have you bought a present for somebody and you haven't delivered it? You've forgotten to post it, or you've forgotten to. So Kathleen, I know I'm asking you to remember something that I'm telling you you've forgotten. Right, okay. So it's just a reminder from your grandfather, whatever this is, obviously you say you understand. Okay. How was your grandfather laughing? He's got quite a sense of humor, hasn't he? He's laughing at you. Be absolutely clear. He's not laughing with you. He's laughing at you. I think that describes his personality. So do you understand that, Kathleen? I understand. Like I said, it's something about his personality. He's laughing at you, not with you. Yeah, exactly. He's making fun of you. Oh God, he's basically saying you're gonna hold on, Kathleen. Have you got something about your? That's my right hand side. Have you got something going on with your right hand side eyebrow or right hand side of the head? Just just suddenly want to scratch my right eyebrow. Does that make sense to you? So, Kathleen, can you understand? I'm putting my hand up to the right hand side of my head, my eyebrow. Does that make sense for you? To you? So, Kathleen, does that make sense to you? God, I cannot get my hand away from my eye. I just want to go. I want to go like that. Right. Okay. Is it more? But again, is it more on the right hand side? Can you understand why my attention is being drawn to the right hand side of your head? Something about the right hand side, Kathleen. Can you understand this? Does it make sense for you? I'm also, yeah, I'm being drawn. I've got an itchy scalp up here as well. But again, it's the right hand side. Very, very specifically, the right hand side of your head. Yeah, okay. Okay, so I'm not diagnosing here. I'm telling you something you already know. Why have you investigated? Straightforward question, Kathleen. Have you investigated why the right hand side is worse? Now, like I say, I'm not diagnosing. I'm not in any way qualified to tell you what's wrong or what to do about it. But your grandfather is drawing attention. I mean, okay, you know it's the right hand side, obviously. But why is he drawing my attention to your right hand side? Have you investigated why it's your right hand side? Can you understand why? I mean, apart from the fact that it is the right hand side, Kathleen, can you understand why? Do you know why it's the right hand side? So, Kathleen, can you understand why your grandfather is drawing my attention? Right, okay. Do yourself a favor, Kathleen, because I just got another message from your grandfather. Pick up the phone on Monday and chase it up. Like, chase up whoever it is that handles the booking for the operation. Just quite literally get on the phone on Monday and chase it up. Because again, obviously I'm not diagnosing here. I wouldn't diagnose anyway. I know I keep saying that and I keep trying to do it, and I'm not saying you're going to get an operation. I'm not saying, but for some reason, your grandfather showed me a phone when you came back to me with the explanation, and I just know you need to phone on Monday. And don't take, like I say, I'm not saying it's a case of you're going to get a date on Monday. I don't know what you have to do on Monday, but just chase it up. Just phone up with an inquiry and don't get off the phone until you've moved forward in some way. And I'll leave you with that, Kathleen. Thank you for the support, Kate. Right, coming to Patricia Ross. You're welcome, Kathleen. Okay, so coming to Patricia Ross. Now, just to reiterate, just to demonstrate people, you can see the time delays and me having to sit and wait to get feedback from Kathleen. If you want to get this a lot faster and get, I mean, in the same time period, if you were doing this on video, I could probably have given Kathleen about 3 times more information, because the quicker I get the feedback, the more spirit it gives me. So again, just to reiterate, if you want to do this, put that link in your browser and click on it, but type in there that you're doing it so that I know to look for you. So coming to Patricia Ross. Patricia. Patricia, I've got 2 people coming forward, a man and a woman. So it's a couple. So Patricia, I've got a man and a woman coming forward, quite elderly. I get the feeling they've been in spirit for a while, actually. So I don't think this is you. I get the feeling if you knew this couple, you lost contact, like they passed to the other side when you were a child. So either grandparents or great grandparents. Definitely a couple, quite elderly, very different personalities. One of them, the female's quite small and the man's quite large. So it's like a big, heavy man. Maybe the woman's not that small, but when you look at her compared to the man, she's smallish. One of them has an issue with the ear. You saw how I was working with Kathleen there. I've got an itchy right ear. Now, with the 2 of them standing together, I'm finding it a bit difficult to work out which one had the ear issue, but one of them has a problem. I can't take my hand away from it. One of them has a problem with the right ear. Now, that could be physical, it could be sound, might even just be balance, but something on the right side of the head or the right ear and to the back. If it's the head, it's not headaches, it's not here. It's the back of the ear. So it's either the back of the head or the ear. So one of them, I'm not sure which one. The man wears a heavy wool, not woolen. You know, the sort of, and yeah, this is going way back. The sort of really heavy black style coat. It's the kind of thing. It's the kind of coat you would wear in a winter. It's the kind of coat you would wear in Siberia. I mean, it's not furry. It's a nice coat. It's like the kind of coat an undertaker would wear. A heavy black woolen coat. The woman also is drawing attention to a woolen scarf or a shawl, something woolen that she wears around the neck. I get the feeling there's a photo or a drawing. Is there a painting of the couple somewhere? A painting or so? Are you talking about the ear, Patricia? If you're giving me feedback, just to be absolutely clear, people, if you're giving me feedback with the time delays, when I say something, by the time I get your text message, I've moved on. So you need to tell me what you're giving me feedback to, Patricia. All right, I'm going to see why they're coming forward now. So Patricia, are you having problems with your eyes? I'm not saying you're wearing glasses. Don't think of glasses. But I want to suddenly squint. I want to squint my face like that. Imagine that you're looking at something in the distance. I mean, way in the distance, and you're squinting your eyes like that to look at it. Does that describe something that's going on with your eyes just now? Okay, so like I was saying, people, this is an example of the time delay of getting the feedback. So Patricia, can you understand now? Okay, thanks for the clarification, Patricia. But can you understand now something going on with your eyesight? It's not glasses. I'm not talking about glasses. Do you have an issue with your eyes? Something that's making you squint. I don't know what it is, but something that you're squinting your eyes like this. Can you understand what I'm talking about? So, Patricia, can you understand? Is it physical or is it symbolic? I get the feeling it's symbolic, but could you understand it's symbolic? So I think it's physical, but could you understand it symbolically if it's not physical? If it's symbolic, then you're looking at something away in the distance, like really straining to see it. Ah, right. Okay. So you work in optician. So we're spot on with the eyes. Okay. Let's see why they're drawing attention to it. I mean, obviously, you know what the issue is with your eyes. So Patricia, has there been an incident at your work in the last couple of days where somebody broke the distancing hygiene rules? So think 48 hours. Yeah, okay. So think 48 hours, Patricia. Did somebody at your work break social distancing quarantine rules? Did you have to squint your eyes at your, maybe the squinting of your eyes was when this happened. So in the last 2 days at your work or outside of your work but related to your work, in some way, did somebody break the social distancing rules at your work or around you? You know, came in without a face mask, came within 2 meters of you, came to the wrong side of the plastic divide. You know the way that opticians are set up these days. So do you understand what I'm talking about, Patricia? Did somebody at your work in the last 2 days break your social distancing rules? Specifically at your work? Or specifically around, if it wasn't you, specifically around somebody else at your work? Do you understand what I'm talking about, Patricia? Can you remember the instant? So, Patricia, can you understand what I'm talking about? I think we've got a very long delay now. Yeah, okay. Well, you've done the right thing. Still think about your work, though. Question, maybe the social distancing is you. Are you remembering to keep yourself away from work? So, Patricia, yeah, like I say, it's just a general rule. Do something about it. Get yourself and your. I mean, obviously, you're keeping your son away from school. Keep yourself away from work. Get it dealt with. Just basically don't let them come into work. Get a stick to chase them away if you have to, but look after yourself. Okay. So basically look, you know what I'm going to say. Get yourself tested. Get the disinfectant out. Just don't dismiss it. just basically do not dismiss it, because we got there in the end, but it was very specific, the chain of reasoning, the connections that we got. So Patricia, I'm going to leave you with that. Don't want to panic you. Don't go screaming, but take a bit of care. Make sure it doesn't happen again. Maybe get yourself tested. Okay, coming to Cheryl Hanlon. Cheryl. Now again, people, you saw how long it took us to work there. If anybody wants to get a deeper, faster message, then get that link into your browser. You're welcome, Patricia. So again, I'm just going to reiterate, people, if you want to get a deeper reading, get that link in your browser, click on it, and I can then bring you in to work with you. So coming to Cheryl Hanlon. Cheryl. Cheryl, I've got a woman coming forward. Cheryl, can you identify a woman in spirit who was a very close friend of your parents? You're welcome, Patricia. Very close friend of your parents, and you grew up calling her auntie, but she wasn't a blood, or somebody, a woman that you grew up treating her, calling her auntie, but she's not your auntie. Like she was a friend of your mother. I think a friend of your mother's or your father's, or both. But you were brought up to treat her as though she was your auntie, or she treated you as though she was your auntie. So but very specifically, you called her auntie such and such. Okay. So we know who we've got. And did she wear a green coat? Very distinct impression that she wore or wears a green coat, or you've got a memory of her wearing a green coat. Quite a heavy coat. See why she's coming forward. Cheryl, are you having breathing problems? Just suddenly taking a deep breath and Cheryl, are you having extreme breathing problems just now? I mean, I can't breathe in, I can't breathe out. Okay, yeah, I mean, whatever's causing it, I'm not saying what's causing it, but I cannot. Oh God, I just want to go like that. Like, let me get this woman to take it back. Thank you. Okay. Okay. You really do need to do something about this, Cheryl. I don't know what's causing the stress, but if you're reacting to it like that, I mean, I couldn't breathe there. I felt as though I was going to choke. I felt as though I was going to literally die of asphyxiation. It was so bad. If you're feeling like that, Cheryl, you really, really, really need to do something about it. Take up a hobby, do something to relax, get to the bottom of whatever it is that's causing it, and put an end to it. Do you understand what I'm talking about? And there is something you can do about it. I don't know what it is that's causing the stress, but you really, really, really need to get to the bottom of it and get it stopped. So Cheryl, do you understand what I'm talking about? Let me take a deep breath and breathe again. Right, because really, I'm going to leave you with that, Cheryl, because let me see what else I can get for you. Cheryl, can you understand something about your left hand? Either being stiff or no, it's not painful. Just I literally cannot move the fingers in my hand. So do you understand what I'm talking about, Cheryl? Your left hand. Is that connected to the stress? Is your left hand, what I'm now feeling in your left hand, is that connected to the same stress that was coming through with the breathing, the asphyxiation? Arthritis. Okay. I know I don't know the first thing about arthritis. So yeah, not connected to the stress, arthritis. But can you do something about it? Can you exercise your hand like that? Or I see you with a rubber ball. Can you get like one of these, the kind of things you get for a dog that you would squeeze, like a squeezy red ball? I suddenly want to go like that to exercise the hand. So, Cheryl, do you exercise? I mean, I honestly don't know the first thing about arthritis, so I am not medically qualified. So, no, this is not stress ball. This is your arthritis. Like I say, I'm not qualified to diagnose arthritis. I don't know the first thing about it. So if I'm telling you to do the wrong thing, don't come back and shout at me. But your nan is making me go like that with the left hand. So it's either exercise or squeezing. Maybe it is connected to the stress. Maybe it's a way. Maybe that's why I was getting the connection. You're exercising your left hand and relieving the stress with a stress ball. So, like I say, I'm not qualified to in any way diagnose or tell you what to do about your arthritis, but I'm going to leave you with that, Cheryl. Right, people, we are running out of time. So if you want to get a face-to-face, much better reading than I can give you doing it like this, you're running out of time. Get that web link and get it into the browser. So let me just put it up again. Type that. You will actually find it in the text at the top. So if you go to the text under the video, in the text at the top on Facebook or on YouTube, click on that link, and you could be sitting here getting a much better reading than I'm giving you just now. Okay, coming to Nikki Barker. You're welcome, Cheryl. So, Nikki Barker. Nikki, are you still with us? I've got a man coming forward. I don't think this is your father, Nikki, but I feel very fatherly. So, Nikki, this is not your father, but he does feel very fatherly. So somebody that you knew when you were growing up or when you were older, maybe a surrogate father. Does a man in spirit that you would consider to be a surrogate father, does that make sense to you? If it's not a surrogate father, it's definitely somebody on your father's side that feels very, very fatherly. So, quite elderly, short hair. He's got what, if I was going to the barber, would be a number 1, 2, or 3 haircut. I'm a number 3 haircut, so it's shorter than that. A 2 or a 1 would be shorter. I get the feeling that even when he was quite elderly, he would still be wearing his hair very short. He's in when he passed 70s. Okay, Nikki, so I'm going to take it from that. You can understand who this is. See, why is he coming forward? Nikki, there's something going on in your life just now. Something to do with something to do with something that you're not talking about. The man suddenly can't talk. Now, it's not physical. It's you don't want to talk about this. So, Nikki, think about something in your life, something embarrassing, something very, very embarrassing that you don't like talking about. I'm not asking you to tell us what it is, but can you understand what I'm talking about, Nikki? Something in your life that you find very embarrassing. I don't know if it's physical or emotional or habits or somebody. Is it somebody else? Something about somebody else that you just don't talk about because you find it embarrassing. So, Nikki, do you understand what I'm talking about? I'm not getting specifics. And even if I got specifics, with this kind of feeling, spirit works with me in emotion. So sometimes I find it difficult to get the emotions into the correct words. But, all right, maybe widen your thought process. Nikki, it's something to do with habit or lack of habit. Trying to get more detail here. Maybe I'm phrasing it the wrong way. Something that, Nikki, is there something that you want to do that you don't tell people about because you think if you told them what you wanted to do, you'd be embarrassed? Does that maybe make more sense? Like you want to treat yourself in some way, but you're not telling people that you want to do it because you would be embarrassed. Maybe not. Maybe you wouldn't be embarrassed. Maybe you'd be embarrassed about their reaction. So, does that make sense for you, Nikki? Yeah, like I said, like I say, Nikki, I get a lot of this as emotion, and I have to. There's like me trying to interpret it and put it into words, and then you understanding my interpretation of it. Right. So your grandfather is drawing my attention to this. Just do it. Just quite literally, go and do it. Throw caution to the wind. Don't. Oh, your grandfather had quite. Given that we're broadcasting on Facebook, I think if I use the words that he just put into my head, I'd have the video removed, which I don't want to do. If I was giving you this as a private reading, I would use the words. But basically, don't give an SH character about people's reaction. Treat yourself, throw caution to the wind, enjoy yourself at the time of your life doing it, and do it for yourself. So I'm going to leave you with that, Nikki. Basically, just go and do it and have the time of your life doing it because your grandfather's going to be there. Well, Nikki, I'm glad you understand it because I don't. I have absolutely no idea what it is that you're supposed to be doing, that your grandfather's pushing you by the shoulders down the hill, losing the caution. Just do it. You're very welcome. Okay, coming to Jason. So we're running out of time here, people. Is there nobody here that's going to stick their necks out and come online with me to let me give you a much better reading than we normally would? All you have to do is carry that link into the browser. Jason, I'm never gentle with you. Never. Oh, Ying's telling me to be gentle with you. Okay, Jason, I've got a man coming forward. Somebody in a hurry. Someone who was alive. Oh, God, he never stopped. It's like, like that. Everything he does was hyper active, hyper fast. Just like everything, like I say, absolutely everything he did was super fast. Where he could come downstairs, he would do it at 2 steps at a time. Where he could go upstairs, he'd be doing it at 3 steps at a time. Where he could cross the road, he'd run across the road. If he was driving at 30 miles, you and I would drive at, well, I would drive at 30 miles an hour. I know the way you drive. He would drive at 60 miles an hour. And it's not the driving. Don't think about the driving. It's just everything he does is at high speed. He speaks fast. It's, hello, I'm going to talk to you about, let me tell you a whole story. Like, and he'll give you so much energy, so much condensed. Oh, good, because I can get him to step back a wee bit because he's overwhelming me with everything that's going on. Okay, so you understand who we've got then, Jason? Why is he coming forward? Let me see. I want you to think back between 1 and 2 weeks, Jason. You did something and you're now regretting it. I don't know if this was a conversation. No, it's not a conversation. It's not a conversation you've done. You've done something about a week to 2 weeks ago that you're now regretting. Oh, did you write a letter? Or did you send an email that you're now regretting? Something typing or something writing, or some form of communication that wasn't verbal. Do you understand what I'm talking about, Jason? A letter, an email, some form of communication that was written as opposed to verbal. Okay, Jason. Well, no, you can remember this. It's something that, again, I'm trying to interpret the feelings. So it's either something that you regret doing or something that you are going to regret doing. Get your email, get your, I don't know what email you use. I'm going to say Gmail because it's just what I use. Get your Gmail list out, look through the sent emails and find the email, or get the notepad out, find the letter that you've sent. Whatever it is, you either regret, or when you realize that you've done it, you're going to regret sending it. So I'm going to go with email because we all use emails these days, not letters. I would think you would remember writing a letter. But it's definitely something that when you realize what you've said or what you've done, you're going to regret doing it. So this is me that's interpreting it. This is not this man that's saying it. It's basically figure out what you've done or said and get ready for the consequences or undo it. It might just be something as simple as something you've said that you need to send a follow-up to explain it, put it into context, or it might be something that you need to roll back. Yeah, just look at the emails you've sent. Like I say, a week ago, more than a week ago, 1 to 2 weeks ago. Look in that sort of time frame. Find the Gmail that you've sent, the one that you're going to regret doing, and roll it back or undo it. I'll leave you with that, Jason. I was gentle with you this week. Okay, people, so that would appear to be the last person that's looking for a message. Just quick hello, Terry. If you want a message, you have to ask for it. I'm going to wrap it down now. Just to remind everybody, we will be away for 2 weeks. Back on Friday, Saturday night, 8th at 12:30 UK time in the morning. We'll be back on Sunday the 10th at 8:30. As I say, I deliberately kept the numbers low tonight because it was going to be the last one in the year. As you can see from the graphics, we've been making a lot of changes to the way we're doing things. There's a lot of technical equipment changes going on in the background. Going to make a few more changes. Okay, Terry, we've got time for one more reading. So you're welcome, Jason. Don't disappear. I'm going to do one more reading. So, Terry, coming to yourself. Terry, I've got a man coming forward. Do you have any memories of a man in spirit that used to dress? I mean, I know it's Christmas, but he used to dress up as Santa Claus, like somebody in the family that dressed up as Santa Claus, or maybe somebody that was every year working as a Santa Claus. I'm not sure if this is what he did for a living, or if he just looked like, maybe he just looked like Santa Claus, but very, very heavy emphasis. The man looks and feels like Santa Claus. Maybe he's the person that organized Christmas for you. You know, the family around the tree. That I just see him at the tree. He's a big man. He looks and feels like Santa Claus. Now, I know that's easy to say, and oh God, it's Christmas. He's just saying that, but that is the feeling that this man is giving. He either looked like Santa Claus, he worked as Santa Claus, or he was Santa Claus in the family. He was the one that organized it all, that handed out the presents. Okay, well, ask your family members, because it's definitely presents around the Christmas tree. Let's see if I can get anything else from him. Right, Terry, go back to your childhood. Very little young girl. Do you remember getting a big doll's house? I mean, I don't just mean like a wee, I mean, it's like this size. A big, massive wooden doll's house. Furniture, small characters in it. Can you remember getting that as a child? So, Terry, can you remember a big, maybe it's not wooden, but I mean, it's a big. I mean, if it was a house, it's a 2-floor house, standalone, semi-detached, garage. I mean, I'm not saying that's the doll's house, but that's the equivalent. It's the doll's house equivalent of a semi-detached house, of a fully detached house. The bungalow. Right. Okay. So who is the person that gave her, who's in spirit, the doll's house? Maybe I'm getting the connection wrong here, because it is the last one, and I'll be honest, I was in the process of winding down. Right, so it's Karen. Okay. So it's your daughter that we're talking about then. Attention's been drawn to my head. Has your daughter had an issue with her head? Has she bumped her head? Has she fallen over and bumped her head, or has she run into an object, or is she getting a headache? So, Terry, can you understand your daughter's head? Right, okay. So it's your father then. Sorry for the misinterpretation. Like I said, I was powering down when I came back in to give you the reading. So let me get back up to speed. So it's your father that we've got in spirit. Obviously, the doll's house was connecting to your daughter, and right, okay. So we've got, I'm assuming from what you're saying, we've got the daughters separated or mixed out. Right, okay. Now, I do not diagnose, but pay close attention to the bumped head. Now, I don't know if this is physical or emotional. I get the feeling that it's being dismissed or ignored. The head. Now, I don't think, I'll be absolutely clear, I don't think it's a physical hurt on the head. So I'm not telling you to run out, put your daughter in the car and drive her to X-ray. But there's something going on with the bumped head. Either the way she bumped her head that you're not paying attention to, or the daughter's emotions, i.e. the head. But there is definitely something going on around or with the bumped head that you're not paying attention to. So, once we're all finished up, go have a wee conversation with your daughter. Maybe have a look at the head, have a conversation with her. I don't know how old your daughter is, but I'm getting the feeling that she's quite young. So basically, just maybe be a wee bit of a detective, be a wee bit investigating her feelings. Yeah. So you know what's going on here. Speak to your daughter, pay attention to what your daughter's saying, and follow it up. Do not let the preschool away with this, because there's definitely something going on here. I'm not getting any specifics. I'm just getting there is definitely something, not the head itself. Obviously, we're talking about the bumped head. But what's going on with the bumped head, do not... Yeah, okay. So I'm repeating myself. I'll just leave that with you. So everybody, if you would please join me in a closing prayer. So let's just do a quick closing prayer together. Dear Father, Mother, Spirit, thank you for the messages that we were able to give tonight. Thank you for opening the door to the other side. Thank you for a wonderful year, despite all the things that have gone on in this year. And please take the energy that we have generated tonight, wrap it up, and do something with it. Find one person to give that energy to, either as healing, as emotional support, or just to get a smile. Thank you. Amen. So again, for the people that are still here, thank you. Like I say, we will be away for the Christmas period. We will be back. Excuse me for 1 second. I've just got somebody trying to generate some business for themselves, so I've just blocked them. Sorry to be having to do this on the last day. I will not tolerate this going on while we're trying to work for Spirit. If anybody gets a message from Shannon Line, please delete it, block it, do something with it. Okay, so that's us finished. Let me just close us out with some closing music. I'm going to play a little bit of Christmas music. My Christmas offer, if you're watching, is still open. A private reading, 2 attendances at a circle, and then a one-to-one training session if you're interested. So that's my wee advert. And you know what's coming next? The Scottish music to prove we're in Scotland. But this is us closing down, people. So thank you. See you next year. Have a Merry Christmas.